podcast that everything was fine, but now I listen to this podcast because I've lost my mind. My gym partner is a podcast. My gym partner is a podcast. Yeah.
Bull shark, porcupine, I don't know what. Doing this podcast is a pain in my...
Hey!
What?
We just found the pilot for the
oh shit!
This,
How do we
okay,
do that?
Friends, supporters,
Whoa.
loved ones. You know how we missed last week? Oopsie. Well, there's a reason why. We were on
It's
a very
because-
long, tiresome quest.
We were on a journey. You see, we took a trip to Encino, California.
We broke into some buildings.
Where
Some buildings that will not be named.
We traded hands with some stonemasons, here and there. But, it's very hush-hush. And, the point is, we had laid eyes on never-before-seen footage of the pilot episode of My Gym Partner's a Monkey. Not the first episode, mind you, that aired on Cartoon Network, but the unseen pilot from March 2004.
this is the origin, y'all. This is the primordial soup of My Gym Partner's a Monkey. We found it. Just I'm so proud of y'all.
So what
I'm
we
so
wanted to
proud
do was
of
we
us.
wanted to kind of talk about it, and what we especially wanted to do is we kind of wanted to do a live commentary track with the actual pilot, but jeez.
Yeah.
So something happened. We were attempting to convert the it's on a VHS tape. This is some old shit.
Yeah, I don't know why. I guess they made this a really long time ago, or I don't know. I don't know why they put it on a VHS tape, but I don't know. Maybe it was just to keep it
It was the
contained.
standard.
Maybe maybe it was never meant to they didn't want it to be transferable
right. I mean,
data.
It was their newest hit
they
show. They weren't gonna just have that lying around on a desktop somewhere,
Yeah, that would be it would be just so easy for it to escape if it were in digital format, CD,
Right. So
audio
while
files.
attempting to bring this monumental discovery to y'all, listen, the tape is too old. We tried everything, and eventually we just kind of got a little tangled in the tape, and
I even tried to take a picture of the screen with my phone, and it just
right.
didn't really work. I don't know if it was CRTs. They're really hard to. They're really bright. They don't show up too well on a phone. I don't know. It's some kind of glitch.
But the point
It beats
is,
me, but
the point. Hold on, I shut my mouth. But the point.
oh my god.
I thought you were gonna talk for a little bit.
We are here uncovering. We are here we're uncovering hidden truths here, and you're just chomping on eyes on the podcast.
But the thing here is, though, despite our efforts, we have seen it. We saw it. Don't worry, we saw the episode. So what we're gonna do is we're going to kind of like we always do our episodes, we're going to just describe them to you, describe, our fun, wacky analytics about it and all that fun stuff. And then we're going to also provide approximation visuals, if that makes sense. We're going to try and craft some images that kind of give you an idea of what's going on in the scene as best as we possibly can.
Yeah, and we kind of do this already. I think we describe things but even more so for this one. I think we gotta really I don't know. We gotta really just illustrate it for y'all.
Go into detail, and I hope my illustrations here are finally rendered to your taste. Describe to set the scene in so many words.
Exactly. So let's not waste any time now. I want to just preface this though, especially, and say this: there's no theme song. Absolutely none.
Yeah, yeah. That was the first big difference. That was like really like it just got me how like the episode just kind of like
Yeah.
coldly started.
I mean, they didn't have like the theme intro. I guess they didn't make that up. They didn't go to like the live band to like sort of record that. I'm guessing
And
it just started with a black screen, white text. My gym partner's a monkey pilot.
Yeah, like the pilot just doesn't have like a name really. It's just, you know, it's there. It's here. You're about to view this thing
Yeah,
that
and bear
people
in mind that
made, I
this was
think.
all made for like pilots are made to like sell to networks. So this was really it really needed to it didn't really need the flashiness of like a theme song. So, like, who cares about that really in the long run? It's about like the characters and this kind of type of stories you can tell with those characters. So we kind of yeah.
It's like the
It's more
content.
about like, you know,
It's
what the episode is. So it kind of starts in Principal Pixie Frog's like principal's room, and Adam's there and he's sitting on a chair, and he kind of looks a bit like uncomfortable and like, well, yeah.
Bit nervous.
mhm.
Kind of looking around.
He ends up breaking the silence after like, you know, Principal Pixie Frog. Oh, well, yeah, that's right. That's right. Principal Pixie Frog, he spoke first, and he was like, "So, Mr. Lion, I'm welcoming you again to Charles Darwin Middle School." And like, you know, that's basically what he said. And Adam is
Yeah,
like,
and we don't see him at first. Actually, it's just kind of in that awkward silence. Adam's just kind of like looking around, and then the silence is broken by Principal Pixie Frog. Like you see the back of his chair. He whips his tongue at a errant fly, and then he turns his chair around, and that's when he starts speaking. So like, you know, just like cold introduction to him.
yeah, which, you know, I feel like I've seen this before, like, you know, in like other like first episodes or pilots of shows where like they kind of introduce a character like this. Like they make it seem sort of like, you know, scary, intimidating, but then like he turns around like the big chair
Well,
and it's
'cause
just a little
also,
frog.
like, it's like
Little
a
frog.
introduction to the concept of like, oh, this is an animal school. We need to show that in like a kind of funny, visually interesting way. So they do that, and Adam is like, he's still Samuel Adam. He looks pretty much exactly like he does in the show. Like, there's very few stylistic differences. I noticed like the animation's a little more fluid, but pilot animation usually is a little bit more fluid, just because it's like, you know, it's a like the one time thing. And he kind of he's like Samuel Adam though. He's like, why am I here? You know, I'm a human boy. And so Pixie Frog's like, well, your name's Lion, right? And I was like, yes. And he's like, well, then you belong here at Charles Darwin. And Adam's like, oh, good grief. Like, he's already like setting in for the torture. Like, he knows it's coming.
It's, yeah, he's like really just like, ah, come on. I can't believe this is like happening. I I I got on the wrong bus
Like,
and
he
now
totally
I'm
has that
here.
attitude about it.
But Principal Pixie Frog just kind of curbs his attitudes. Like, now listen, I it's not my choice. It's out of my hands. You know, if I were to put a student named Adam Lion in a human school, well, our the district would cut
Yeah.
our funding. You know, setting up his character.
We kind of
Of
like know
course.
immediately what kind of guy Principal Pixie Frog is. Like, you know,
Terrified, terrified of like loans, terrified of getting sued. A business centric
so he's trying to like
fellow.
kind of like calm Adam down and be like, okay, you know, let's go. Let me take you to your first class. And he takes him to his first class, which is the stalking class. And there's like this shot that's like very similar to what was that one episode? So remember that shot in Shark Attack, like the opening shot in Shark Attack, that episode where it's like Adam sitting at a desk in like a field. It's like that shot exactly, pretty much.
Yeah, it's like basically that.
Gag, shot for shot. And I can see why they didn't release this episode, because it might have been just kind of redundant what they did. And of
Mhm.
course, like, they weren't allowed to release these sort of pilots, I'm guessing. But it's basically that same gag where, like, the Panther Kid comes out and he tries to scare Adam, but then Mr. Hornbill, and this is our
He
Mr.
looks just
Hornbill
as shitty as
introduction.
ever.
Yeah, he's like a little bit rougher though. Like maybe like I
Like
don't
drill
know,
sergeant.
more wide, more wide, more drill sergeant, I guess. He's like his eyes are a
Yeah.
little bit different.
He says something weird though, which I guess is in the spirit of the show. But
Mhm.
he just says, consarn it, lion. Don't you know how to be a good prey animal? Get back
It's like
to your
it's
seat.
weird because we never really
Yeah.
get that like prey predator dynamic too much in the actual show.
It's like they really just jump into the I guess the animal qualities of the school's education.
There was something he said though that was like a bit more off. What was it? It was something he said
think-
specifically about that prey
was-
dynamic.
I think he was saying, wasn't he like talking about like how like
it's it's like natural.
God,
like, he's like,
what
this
was
is
it?
how this is the natural order of things. Like, and he like I think he like pulled out like a food chart or something, and like he pointed and like at the bottom there was like a crudely drawn like human that was like obviously like freshly like added in. You know, like I said food chart, I meant food chain. So like.
Yeah, it's weird. Like he seems a lot more
Yeah,
like
I was
sadistic.
really uncomfortable about this. And, like this is I don't know, it just felt more cynical than what I'm used to. Like this show can feel cynical at times, but this was like definitely like they were looking at Adam and being like you don't belong here. Like this is really like you're the bottom of the bottom.
And like it had a really strange like kind of vibe about it, how you don't normally really get the impression that everybody at Charles Darwin Middle School doesn't want Adam to be there. Like you don't really get that in the normal show. It's just kind of like they pick on him because he's human, or like he ends up getting into sort of like a humorous situation because he's not an animal. But in this one, everybody is so like, I don't know, like they're aggressive towards him being there. It
gets worse because like after this, like they're like, okay, next class, and he's at gym, and I was like so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna get to see pilot like Jake. Like Jake has to show up here, right? Because title of the show and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Gill like is wheeled in, but it's not Horace who's wheeling her in. What was the animal again? I can't remember.
It was like
I think it was actually a ferret. Like Horace is a weasel, I think, or some other animal, but here it was like an actual
it was like smaller
pet ferret kind of thing.
Yeah, I thought it was like a badger or something. Yeah, I mean it was an animal that was not Horace. It was strange.
Yeah,
it's
maybe
like
it was
beta
like
Horace.
Horace's like first design or whatever. But Coach Gill like pairs everybody up, and
also Coach Gill had a different voice. We got to talk about that. Like her voice was actually like really like I guess like it was like higher pitched. It was like really like kind of like small sounding.
Why do you think they changed that?
I don't know. I
maybe they wanted that like contrast instead of just what you'd expect, like a higher pitched like little goldfish voice. They wanted and maybe it was easier to get the voice actor. They got what's his name?
I know who you're talking about, like the Captain Knuckles, like like
because he was already on in like Cartoon Network. Brian Doyle Murray.
Yeah, so like they couldn't get Brian Doyle Murphy for it, so Maria. So I guess they probably just like hired
Yeah, like everybody else has
somebody
like
else.
pretty much their voice. Like Adam sounds like a tiny bit different, but I'm pretty sure it's the same like voice actors. Um, yeah,
Tom
Kenny's
Kenny's
still
still
there
in there, right? Like not
too.
to like
Yeah.
jump the gun for where Jake is, but shows up. But Tom Kenny is there, so I guess they were able
Jake's
to get
here.
him.
So yeah, we get the big Jake reveal, and he's like really happy to see Adam. Like he seems like excited about it. And Adam is like ugh, because like Jake's kind of gross looking. Like there's like one of those funny like close up shots of like his like
Gross
really
up.
well rendered painting
Yeah,
of like his
it's
mouth and like nose, and it's like gross and warty, and he's got like snot coming out.
yeah, and all his teeth
Yeah.
are like jagged and like different shapes, and like
It does
Adam's
the,
like,
when it
ugh.
zooms in on Jake, it does the
And
like
it's like-
high pitched girly laugh, like the
Yeah, that like stock like
Yeah,
SpongeBob
exactly.
sound effect.
But the reason he's revealed is Coach Kill partners them both to do like
The rope
their
climb.
fitness thing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they do the rope climb, and I think there's like a medicine ball bit, which is like I like medicine balls as much as anyone else, but that's a very specific one to like throw in there.
But we get our first introduction. Adam's like, well, I guess we're partners then. My name's Adam, and Jake is like, as you said, he's really excited to meet Adam for the first time. Just like he sees, and like it's just from the shot of him looking at Adam, you get a pan up and down to see his like pathetic form, and he's just like, oh, you're the new kid.
And then
Hi,
like
my name's Jake.
and like Jake reaches his hand out and like tries to touch Adam's like entire face.
like has the stretching out. So like it's Adam, and then like off camera, like out of frame, the hand comes up and it's like, and he, like Adam like slap.
Yeah,
He just wipes it away, and he's like,
he just and then like Adam slaps it away, and you hear like Jake make the like like that like that ape noise. Just like
quick that.
you're just like, what are you doing? and Jake interprets
Yeah,
that
he's
as like a
like,
high five. So he's like, "Whoa, I guess we're friends
and
now,
so
buddy."
we get those like gym bits that we talked about already, and then we get to like Jake's like, let me, after this class, he starts kind of like clinging on to Adam, and this is where we start to see like the first instances of cling. And he's like, let me introduce you to my friend group, or like his friends. I forget what he says exactly. And it's Ingrid, Lupe, Slips, but no Windsor.
Well, actually, there is Windsor.
Like-
There is a Windsor there, but like to clarify for everybody like listening, it's not Windsor. It's
Yeah.
actually Henry Armadillo, but his
Windsor.
name is Windsor. For some reason, his
Yeah.
name is Windsor.
It's so
Windsor
weird.
Armadillo. Like, I don't
There
know
was,
like
a
what
big
happened.
change there.
I guess they wanted him to be a major part of the show, but they for some reason they decided. Honestly, in my opinion, it was a much more logical sense to go with the more logic-minded, level-headed Windsor to sort of be that leveling character. To
Yeah.
the chaos, but Henry Armadillo, he's just a strange case to be in that form.
I think you mean Windsor Armadillo.
Right.
We
Keep forgetting.
I mean, it's easy to
just
forget
Henry.
because
Like,
it's
it literally
so
is just
like
Henry.
yeah, like he's not even different. Like he's not even like he looks exactly how he does in like the show. Like he's
got
even
the
like
accent.
you know how we talked about he's got the accent, you know how we talked about like the whole fucking like how this was like animated more fluidly. I don't think he was animated more fluidly. I think he was just
He was
kind of like
pasted in
the
there,
same.
like last minute, and he like
Yeah.
shakes Adam's hand, and Adam is like like kind of looks like weird. Ingrid like giggles and like blushes when she meets him, so I guess that's like our first like instance of like her having a crush on him.
Yeah, she doesn't
I guess
speak.
it was.
She doesn't speak though. She just giggles and blushes, and that's like all we get from her. So I guess like
Lupe doesn't even
no voice
talk.
for Ingrid yet. Lupe doesn't talk. She looks a little different. She has like earrings. You guys remember like the episode where like they
Yeah.
put on earrings, like Lupe and Ingrid? Yeah,
Yeah, I think
she
they
had
were like
that,
pretty much
didn't
the
she?
same ones.
She
Like
looked pretty much like a background character, honestly, in this shot. But it was honestly a more refreshing design to see her have these earrings and such. But of course, she didn't have any speaking lines at all.
Oh yeah. Oh my god,
Slips,
how can we not talk
however,
about Slips?
yeah, we got to talk about primordial slips.
So, what did you think about Slips, Renee?
Um,
honestly, I was just glad to hear his voice here, where he's just like, "Oh, Adam, huh? You know, you look a little weird for a lion, but I guess that's okay. I'm Slips," and he kind of like,
he puts like a rat in his mouth. I'm a snake, and then he
Yeah, and
like swallows it whole.
it's weird though that
Remember
they
that?
like got rid of
That
his
was
like it like Renee was saying like in the pilot he had like that like a lisp, like he would like stress his s's like a snake, and his like tongue would like flick out.
oh yeah, it was like still kind of surfer guy, but like with the like
"Hey,
hey the man.
Yeah, and
what's
then he does the
up?"
whole bit where like it's actually like a like a mouse student that's like walking by, and he goes, "I'm Flips," and then he kind of like looks down, and there's like a mouse walking by, and he like grabs it real quick and puts it in his mouth.
Yeah, and like he just swallows it really quick, and it goes
Adam
which
like
a
shows
little
like,
weird, a little dark, but
yeah, and
yeah.
Adam shows like a twinge of fear here, but it's not really focused on. But just want to say that like it seems like a bit of a rough
There's
joke
been
for
a few rough jokes. So
the
like this one, I
pilot.
think was a little looser than like most episodes are with like its jokes.
I just wanted to like say like the expression. I wanted to describe like
Right.
Adam's expression, like when he sees Slips do this, because like it kind of like, I mean, this is just my interpretation of it. He looks like distraught and kind of disgusted, but also I can like feel like this sort of like twinge of fear, as if he realized that could be me. I could be I could be the mouse in this school. I could be
Right.
the
And
prey.
after this, they're like in a hallway doing this actually, this scene. And
Hmm.
we're getting like introductions to characters like one after the other. I think they just wanted to show that like we have a cast of characters, here they are, because Bull shows up and he kind of like he kind of looks
Hmm.
he looks like mostly the same. It's really not worth going into like the little differences of his costume, but like he has like a different shirt. He like pushes Adam, like he's like, "Oh, you're the new kid," and he like pushes him against a locker and is like you better, behave or something like that, or I'm gonna like eat you. And like Adam, like you were saying, like
Yeah,
Adam starts to like realize, oh god, like this could be a very dangerous school. Like he looks scared, and like Adam says like, I've never been like threatened to be eaten like before, and Jake kind of like just laughs.
yeah,
He
How-
gives
oh!
that Tom Kenny like
yeah. Like
that.
he gives that like laugh, and this is where like I don't. Past this point, I just don't know how to describe. Like me like y'all remember we were just kind of like, what the hell, like when we were watching like this last half of
Right.
this like pilot, because it was so like there were some like really weird
Yeah,
choices
Renee, will
in
you
it.
describe the
Like
weird gross out joke that like happens here?
All right. So, oh god, how do I even start? So Jake just laughs and plays it off, and Bolsharkowski's like, I'm meaning, man. I'll mess you up. I'll eat you whole. And I was like quaking, like he's just shivering. and Jake's just, for some reason, he's very nonchalant about this, and is just like, "Oh, come on, you've never gotten eaten at least once before in your old school," and he just kind of uh, opens up Bull's jaw, uh, climbs in, and just like sits himself on his tongue, and just
And
kind of sits there for a while.
and
For like,
also, sorry, but like, I just wanted to like mention Bull Sharkowski kind of lets this happen. Like he doesn't
No,
like resist
he
it.
just kind of
He just
helps.
he just lets he just kind of like lets Jake just like sit in his mouth, and like he keeps his mouth open just with
he's
Jake
not
sitting
he
in
doesn't
there.
even like, this isn't like he's got like it's not like a gag where like he's got like an uncomfortable expression on his face, like, oh no, what's happening. He's smiling and just like has a relaxed look as he's opening his mouth, and Jake's just chilling in there, and we get like a closer like gross out shot of him just chilling in there, and this is where it just kind of hangs on for a while. They really wanted to show this shot of like saliva dripping. You got like cave
Yeah,
ambience
I actually
within
laughed at
like
that. It was kind of funny.
the
Yeah,
cavernous echoes of his mouth.
yeah, cave ambience, and Jake's just sitting in there with his neutral smile expression, and kind of just like that high detail like painting sort of look, and then like it zooms in onto like a little spot of Bull Shark's tongue, and Jake's hand like goes down and he pats it, and it makes it as if beckoning to like let Adam like, hey, come on, sit in here with
And
me,
like,
buddy.
and then it just cuts to like Adam, and he just looks like so uncomfortable. And then we get our first transition. Like that's how that scene ends.
Uh, yeah, yeah, it just goes. Like that was like pretty similar.
Yeah.
I think they kept that one.
And I think they cut to the lunchroom, which, the famous lunchroom. I think coincidentally, just like on the topic of food, of eating and being eaten. Something strange though.
Did
Adam
they
brought
have?
his
Yeah.
lunch.
Yeah, Adam bought his lunch, and he was very insistent about how like he was like, wow, I'm glad I'm
Yeah, he
bringing
like
my
looks over at
lunch.
Jake's Wormy Joe, and he's like, glad I brought my lunch. Now I know to bring my lunch every day, and I'll never not bring my lunch," or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was like something that he just kind of like went on about it, you know. Wasn't really a joke, but it was there. We
He
appreciate it though.
picked out his lunch. It was a bologna on rye, and he was getting ready to eat it. And Jake was just kind of looking at it, side eyeing it. It's like, is that what you're eating? Are you sure you're gonna eat that? He's like, I love bologna on rye. You don't eat
Yeah, and
bologna
then
on
Jake's just
rye?
like, "You're
Just like,
weird."
Jake is Yeah, Jake's just quiet and he's just like, you don't belong here.
man, you really don't belong here.
And Adam just looks kind of sad, but he just looks down at a sandwich and he
Yeah,
takes
Jake
another
Jake is like
bite.
not letting him go though. Like, even after this, Jake kind of just like, I forget what he says exactly, but he's just kind of along the same lines of like,
He's calling back to the mouth there. It's like, man, if you haven't gotten eaten before, if you don't eat like we do, I don't know how you're gonna live through this. How you're going to be like one
and
of
Adam
us,
doesn't really respond. He kind of like, he looks like really sad about this actually. And then it's just like this cut to him like walking to, I guess, his next class, and Jake is following behind him because he's ever the clingy friend, and he's like, "Hey buddy, what's wrong? Like, I thought we were friends and stuff." And Adam says, and like I wrote this down because it was like so like, I don't know, poetic in a way, because it's so unlike what the
Yeah.
show is
Boing.
now, where he Adam, as he's walking, literally goes, I don't belong here, and you don't like me. I don't want to try anymore.
Jesus. Oh my god, yeah. That was really
Yeah,
like just a
it's just,
lot.
it's such
Like
like I feel like this show really wanted to tackle themes of like trying to belong to a place and like giving up on belonging to it, so you put yourself in isolation. Like this is what Adam's doing. He's isolating himself.
yeah, he's like just trying to distance himself from like everything that's happened in this day because it's just like it's a lot to take in. He doesn't feel comfortable. He doesn't feel like he belongs.
And
And
to accentuate this, we get a montage of him being alone, but it's not like a usual comical montage of like, oh, Adam, he's sad, he doesn't fit in, or anything like
it
that.
wasn't, yeah, it wasn't that. Like,
It didn't even have much music. It was more just jungle ambience, like subdued jungle ambience, where he's alone in class. He's falling asleep at lectures. He's
there's
looking at other animal students and just kind of uh
Yeah,
far away from them,
there's this
isolated.
there's this one like shot in this montage that was like really reminiscent to me of uh, do y'all remember that part from Spirited
with the
Away
train.
with the
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the
Where
train?
it's
Yeah, with
like
like the train.
when he
Yeah,
Renee neglected to mention here because but I think it's important. Like they do something weird visually where like the faces of the other animal students, they're like distant and not really there, if that makes sense.
yeah. They're like kind of they're almost like cutouts of the like shapes of animal students, and they just kind of move by, and like like Adam's just like standing in the hall, and these shades of like students are moving by him, and you just hear like the ambience of like just a bunch of murmuring in a room, like just the yeah,
Yeah.
like a bunch of people talking. It was like, and he just looks so like it's like he's here with all of these people, yet he's
Yeah,
alone.
not even Jake is there. Like Jake has, I guess, given up.
I guess so. Like Jake is either he's given up or he doesn't care.
And, it and you would think this is the point in the story where it turns around and Adam gets to Jake goes back to Adam and is like, well, hey, you got friends here, we're all friends here. Adam Jake goes back to Adam. It's the end of the school day. They're getting out of school, and Jake's just like, uh well, how was your first day at CDMS, Adam? Just like, I don't, I don't know if I can do this every day. And he's like, well, you're going to have to. See you
And then there's
tomorrow,
just a slow
buddy.
like pan out of Adam standing in front of the school as the other kids like are like milling about or getting on the bus, and like he kind of sighs and he's like, "Yep, I guess I will." And that's where the episode ends.
Yeah, or at least I think that's where it like that's probably where it ended, but the tape did
That's
destroy
true.
itself after
We did get a
this.
little tangled immediately
The,
after this.
yeah, like it started smoking a little bit. I guess it was like there's some dust in there or
But yeah, so that
something,
was the
but
pilot. It was
Oh,
significantly darker, and I see now why they don't want people to see this.
yeah, I honestly not sure how they got
Yeah,
a show
like well, I mean, it would explain why
out
there's
of
so many
this.
changes, right? Like they're like, okay, we have some good groundwork here, but maybe let's take a step back from the like serious tones here.
Mm-hmm. Let's maybe like I don't know, make
Yeah.
it a funny show and not like this weird like thought piece about like isolation. Which, you know, I can appreciate that. I can appreciate a little art in my cartoon, but this was just too much. I don't think I could watch this as a child and feel
Hey,
like,
hey,
yeah,
wait, hey, y'all.
yeah.
I'm, you know, I'm gonna, I got a bad feeling
do you
about
mean?
this. I don't. It's, maybe, maybe we shouldn't air this episode. I don't.
The people
Why
need to know,
not?
like,
I'm,
Like, we went through so much fucking trouble. Like, I'm sorry, Renee. I'm sorry I'm cussing at you right now, but like, we went through so much fucking trouble to get this.
look,
Just going
listen.
to like say that we don't fucking air it. Like,
Listen, look, I just have a bad feeling about this,
what
alright?
what bad feeling? What do you think's going to happen? Do you think the episode is like? Do you think? What are you feeling? Tell me. Tell me what are you feeling right now? Why do you want to not air the episode?
I just feel like there's a reason that people
There's a
haven't really talked about it.
there's a reason. It's my gym partner's a monkey. Nobody cared before us. But we do, and we gotta
Renee,
put it out there.
I did not
What do you
spend
think,
15
Lucy?
years training to break into this building for you to pussy out now, okay? This shit's happening. It's happening now. And this we owe it to everybody who has supported us to get this out here. And if this puts danger on us,
It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter.
Look, I don't know. Things just think.
Renee, you need to stop.
Right now.
you step out
Renee-
of this. You need to step out of this right
gotta
now.
say- Renee, you gotta stop being a pussy.
Please, God, no. Come on.
We gotta do
Oh, shit.
this.
Hey,
We gotta.
Hey,
Yeah.
God, I think there's somebody in my house right now.
That's what I was saying. Look.
Lucy! Lucy!
I'm sorry. Goodness, I'm so sorry. I know. I didn't. I tried to tell them I'm sorry.
Tune in next week for a new episode of My Two Winners podcast.
I'm Gert. Hey,
Happy birthday!